All right, guys, here we go. This will be a fun one for me to do. I get to nerd out here a little bit. I'm going to be going over the workouts for Loaded Like a Freight Train 2 this year, taking some time to explain them all, talk about what's involved, with the goal that, one, you can have a better understanding to work with your partner if you're already signed up of how do we work towards doing as well as we can at this. And if you're on the fence of, I want to do it, but I'm nervous, I'm not sure, of me maybe pushing you over to where you do end up doing it. So that's the goal with this. It's almost Halloween. We are almost at the end of HEROctober. I'm happy with this HEROctober. It was right on the edge of too much. I think I was towing that line. Kind of a beat down. We did 14, or we've done 13. There's one more to go, Hildy, on Wednesday. And then we will be done with HEROctober. And great to see it come and great to see it go. In the spirit of partner competitions, both of the workouts this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, are partner workouts. So start finding your partner now for this weekend. So let's talk about Loaded Like a Freight Train 2 for this year. First, what is my goal with competitions? It is definitely not to make money. CrossFit competitions take a lot of time and effort, and done right, in my opinion, unless you've established yourself as one of the premier ones and you can make sponsors pay a whole lot of money, I think it is very hard to do a CrossFit competition right and make any money if you're being honest about it. So our in-house competitions definitely cost me money. I'm happy to do it because I think it is a worthwhile thing to build our community and provide people with a good, safe chance to kind of let out their competitive juices, test themselves, put themselves in a little bit of a situation that makes them nervous, but in a place where they know they're going to have a good experience with it. And I always leave these tired because it takes a lot of work, but also very energized. And as I go into it each year, as I'm kind of getting my mindset up, I know I've got to get everything right because I want you guys to know it's going to run on time, that it's going to be well organized, that you're going to be clear on what's involved, that we'll start at the right time, we'll finish at the right time, and everybody will have a good experience in between those 2 points. So having said that, that's kind of my big picture on this. That's why I want to do Loaded Like a Freight Train, do an in-house competition. Let's break down the workouts. So again, big picture before I get into the specifics. I wanted this to be attainable, and all the movements in this competition, I think, are reasonable expectations for everyone to be able to do eventually. Maybe not right now. Maybe you're not strong enough. Maybe you don't have double unders. But as you look through these events and when you come see them, even if you're not participating on December 14th, you can know, I think, Dan thinks I should be able to do all this stuff at some point. So it is a reasonable goal in my head for you to be able to do everything's involved in this, whether it's the Loaded or the Lightning division. And having said that, what separates the Lightning and the Loaded division? Well, this year, it is pretty much just the weight. The weights on 2 of the workouts are heavier for the Loaded division than they are in the Lightning. Otherwise, there is no difference. Last year, it was both heavier weights and some more complicated gymnastics. We didn't have a lot of participation in the Loaded division last year. So, you know, when I make a comp and I'm making the workouts, I'm thinking of you guys. I'm thinking specifically of everyone at the gym who I think might sign up for this. I don't know for sure, but I can make some educated guesses who might be signing up for the comp and what are reasonable, you know, things that they can reach for, but you can attain and do them. So for this year, I made it exclusively heavier weights. Next year, there will definitely be involved a higher level of gymnastics for the Loaded division as well. So keep that in mind, that if that's the case, maybe you should want to do this year over next year, because I definitely want to balance that out over time. So in no particular order, well, I will say the first workout is the first workout. After that, in no particular order. But the first workout, and this is the one I haven't put in an email yet, so let me explain this. You're going to do 2 5-minute AMRAPs. And the AMRAP, the score for this is just the last movement. So there's going to be 2 rowers. The guy's going to row 40 calories. The girl's going to row 30. Once you're both done with that row, one of you is going to do 20 toes to bar and one of you is going to do 20 box jumps, standard height. So you both have to finish the row. Then you both have to finish the second movement. Once all that is done, Then you start going on a you go, I go basis on devil press. And this will be with 2 dumbbells, 1 in each hand. Lightning division is 40 for the guys, 25 for the girls. Loaded is 50 and 35. In theory, you could get to that point. Let's say it takes you 3 minutes to get through that first body of work and you have 2 minutes left. One person could do devil press the whole time. The other person never has to touch the dumbbells. Not a good strategy, I would bet, but I'm leaving that open to interpretation, and I'll get into the whys of that later. But having said that, whether I do 5 at a time and you do 5, I do 7, you do 3, whatever, your score is for that round. Did we get 19 devil press? Did we get 9 devil press? Then there'll be a 2-minute break. You'll start at the beginning with the row again, go through all of it again, and then get a second score of devil press as well. And again, you can break those up however you want, but at the end of this workout, it will be whoever has the most devil press that is the winner, and then rank below that accordingly. I like devil press because I think it is a very attainable full body movement. It kind of reminds me of a sled push. Just basic grunt work on the body. There's weights involved, but your whole body's working. Yeah, you got to know how to use your hips to get those dumbbells overhead. So there's a little bit of skill there, but almost everything we do in CrossFit involves your hips. So it's just learning how to transfer that to these dumbbells from that position. So not, frankly, a high skill move, but a high, you got to have a good work capacity to keep slinging these things over your head when you're tired. All right, so that's the first workout. The second workout, the 7 rep max front squat. This will be taken from the ground. I'll get a 7 rep max and you will get a 7 rep max as my partner. Guys, we all know, any meathead knows this. Anything over 5 reps is now cardio. And even 4 or 5 reps is in that shady, dangerous zone of a little bit of cardio. But what do I like to train? What do I like to train us with in CrossFit? As you guys know, if you've listened to other Devil's Details, and I think I'll attach it. It's the second or third one. I'll attach it in the description below this. Fatigue resistant strength. That's what I want us to train, is strength under duress, strength when we are tired. And so I'm making that 7 rep max is enough that I think it's going to level the playing field a little bit between those that have good ankle and knee and shoulder flexibility and efficient movement compared to those that just have a heavy 1 rep max front squat. Because you're under tension enough time that you're going to need to breathe through it. And so I think, I can have a 1 rep max of this and you can have it of this, but if you're a little bit better mover, that 7 rep max may be pretty close to the same for both of us. And so that's why I picked that number. And I will say this will be exciting because we all know if you get to 5 or 6 reps and bail, you've really dug a hole for yourself that is going to be hard to get out of. I guarantee one person at the event will dig that hole and then get themselves out of it. And that's going to be fun to watch. That's going to be exciting. I'm going to be cheering very loudly when that happens. The third workout, as I'm going over them here, is this is your basic body weight, monostructural, cardio, engine, just work kind of a workout. You go, I go, 20 wall walks, 40 burpees to a plate, 80 calories on the bike, and 160 double under. In theory on this workout, one person could do the whole workout. The other partner can stand there and cheer them on and they could do the whole thing. I wouldn't suggest that either, but I'm providing a great deal of flexibility on how you break this up and who does what, because I think it allows a lot of strategy between the partners on where our strengths lie and where I do the preponderance of the work and where you do. I think this will be the longest workout for most of the teams, I would bet, just by the nature of how much work, the volume of work involved. But yeah, this is just get in there, get after it, get to work done. When I need a break, when you need a break, we switch back and forth. And then the last workout is your classic CrossFit couplet. Clean and jerks and wall balls, 2 classic core to extremity movements. The power originates from the center of us, from our hips, and extends out. They both end and terminate with an upper body press movement. And so the clean and jerk is more of a hip hinge that ends with an upper body press. The wall ball is more of a knee extension that ends with an upper body press. And so I don't mind that the upper body press is a little redundant, because I think that between the combination of movements, this tests so much. This is going to test your power, your engine, but it's also going to test your strength and your stamina. There's a lot going on here, and that's the beauty of as I've talked before in Old Devil's Details, a classic couplet with the right rep ranges. And again, it's 15 clean and jerks. Lightning is 95-65. Loaded is 135-95. And then it's 20 wall balls if you're in Lightning. Classic normal weight, 2014. And if you're in the loaded, it's only 15 wall balls, but it's with the 30 pound for the guys and the 20 pound for the girls. Again, here too, in theory, one person can do the whole workout. It's 4 rounds of that. But once you do go as one partner, you have to do at least 5 reps at a time. So you can't jump in and do 2 and then bounce out. You have to do at least 5 reps of whatever movement you are. But I could do all the clean and jerks every time, and you could do all the wall balls, or I could do 10 clean and jerks and you could do 5, and then I could do 10 wall balls and you do 10 or 5 or whatever the case ends up being. But this is just a good classic couplet that will test a lot of stuff on this. Yeah. So those are the 4 workouts. There's no running. You can all be excited about that. That is mainly because of the time of year. December 14th, you guys know this in Texas, it could be 80 degrees and it could be 20 degrees. So I didn't want to be dependent on that. That's also why there's no carries outside. I love carries. I love carries in competitions. But I just thought this way I can kind of guarantee more of the experience we're going to have, and for everyone, both the spectators and the people doing the competition. All right, so also as we break down, and I'll attach this in the description below too, I've gone over, there's 3 silos we categorize movements in CrossFit: monostructural, weightlifting, and gymnastic, MWG. In this competition, there are 3 monostructural movements, there are 4 weightlifting, and 4 gymnastic. So I think a pretty good split between the 3 categories. The weakness on this competition, guys, and I know this and I'm saying it, is gymnastic pulling. So hanging off the bar and pulling your body weight. There's not an expression of that in this competition. That is on purpose. As I mentioned earlier, there's not a lot of complicated gymnastics. I want a good participation. I am fine with that because I think this is a pretty good, well-rounded test of fitness. Tests a lot of different things. The whole being that gymnastic pulling, and you can make sure you can know that I will remedy that in Loaded Like a Freight Train 3 next year. So if you don't want to do pull-ups, do this year so you can be a judge or a volunteer next year. Having said that too, not pretty accessible. The only 2 movements everyone has to be able to do are front squats and rowing. Everything else, in theory, you could totally not do a movement in a workout. And there may be teams that choose to do that and end up with a good score on this. And so having said that, what will lead to a good score in this competition? Here's the bet I'm making. Prove me wrong. The team that wins the front squat event will not win the competition. This is a situation where I am happily wrong, because either I know what I'm doing and I'm proved right, or I learned something new, and I look forward to those opportunities too. I know what I'm doing, or I learned something new. So I'm great with both. But that's that's the early betting line on this. But again, I could be wrong. Who will win this competition? I think it will be 2 things. 1, the team that for the next 6 weeks can get together with their teammate, and both of them, honestly, setting egos aside, assess their strengths and weaknesses. Not what they like to do, assess their strengths and weaknesses. And then combining forces on that, figure out who should do what. Again, not on what they want to do, but on what they might be better at than the other person. I'm better at double unders, you're better at wall walks, or wall balls, either one. And we're delineating out and dividing up. I'm going to do most of this work, you're going to do most of this work. Being able to assess that between the 2 of you, and then finding one weakness, and in the next 6 weeks, shoring up, strengthening that weakness. So in a high level competition, I think competition should be programmed so there's nowhere to hide for all the competitors, where you have to be pretty well-rounded. If you're at the games, you need to be good at everything. And so I think events should be designed where you have to do everything. With what we're doing, with my purposes for this, I like the strategizing involved. Of sometimes, frankly, you have a place to hide. That I may have holes in my game, you have holes in your game, but we can combine forces and cover for each other at different times. I think that's fun because it comes more strategy involved there. So that's why I'm aligned that. So you strategizing early, but then using the next 6 weeks to shore up one of those weaknesses. If you're already good at double unders, you don't need to be practicing double unders for the next 6 weeks. If you're already really good at clean and jerks, you have a 2.5 minute grace time. You don't need to work on the clean and jerks. So it's not building up your strength, but if it is, I need more staying power on wall balls. They exhaust me. It's working on the wall balls once or twice a week for 10 minutes, not even 5 minutes. If it's, I need to be more efficient with my wall walk so I can get up and down that wall faster. Once or twice a week, working on wall walks. If it is double unders, I'm not good at double unders. My partner's going to do most of them, but if they're tired, I need to know I can jump in and get 10. And so practicing your double unders so you can be as good at those as you can when you're under fatigue towards the end of that workout. So that'll be the first thing the teams that do well do. The second one will just be the teams that have the best overall engine. I made this to be an accessible, as I've said, event where just your engine needs to be the kind of engine that you can work for 30 seconds to 2 minutes at a time and do that several times over the course of a workout and several times over the course of the day. So it is just whose engines between the two partners, who have the best combined engine that can go and rest and go and rest and go and rest, because that's what you're both going to be doing over the course of this competition. So that is, I think, the two skill sets that will determine the winner. If you are nervous, guys, this is the best time to do a competition. You can know what I love about our community. We freak out cheering for each other when we see our fellow members at King William battling through a workout. We cheer them on when they're struggling, and when they're doing good, we lose our minds with enthusiasm. And I love that. I think it's so fun. I think the spectators work almost as hard as the competitors because we're all freaking out on the sidelines, riding the emotional highs and lows with you. And that's why I leave these competitions just tired, but with a smile on my face. That was just a really good time. And you can know on my end that I am very sincerely going to make this as good an experience as I can. It's going to run on time. The events will be planned out. It will go smoothly. We'll get done. We won't get done late. And you can know my goal is to give you a good experience with it. And that is, there's not even a close second goal. That is the primary goal. So I think this has run long enough. Let me know if you have any thoughts. Right on. Talk to you later.